It's been a little more than 2 years since we gathered together on the second floor of Tersicle's French Country restaurant, where I outlined my vision to make Ellicott City a model resilient Main Street community. We all know the devastation our town saw during the July 2016 and May 2018 floods, when several feet of water swept through Ellicott City, and sadly, 3 lives were lost. When I took office in December of 2018, I inherited a plan that I thought would forever change the character of Ellicott City. That plan included demolishing 10 buildings at the lower end of Main Street and constructing a series of flood mitigation projects. Once complete, it would have left up to 8 feet of water on Main Street in a 2016-sized storm. These projects were all in the very early stages of development. Some had begun the design process, but none of the necessary acquisitions had been completed. None of these projects were fully funded. When I came into office, I wanted to build upon the progress that had already been made, but also see if there was a better way to protect our historic town. A way that would leave less water on the street and preserve more of the town's character. Using a model that had already been reviewed by the Army Corps of Engineers, I asked our team at the Department of Public Works to take another look at the data to see if there was an option for flood mitigation that prioritized public safety and preservation. They evaluated dozens of scenarios that included things like underground storage, conveyance projects, tunnels, retention projects, and different options for building removal. While this review was underway, my administration immediately got to work on supporting Ellicott City. Within days, we created the EC Holiday Bucks program, which provided $10 vouchers for people to use in Ellicott City shops and restaurants in the weeks leading up to the holidays. This very successful program continues today. We also started developing the first phase of our Ellicott City Safe and Sound Plan, a holistic approach to recovery in Ellicott City that prioritized public safety and long-term stability and sustainability for our town. Phase 1 of our Safe and Sound Plan included innovative initiatives like the stream cleaning program. Since we know that stream debris can lead to flooding, it was important to make sure that the streams in and around Ellicott City are as clean as possible. At the time, streams were only cleared quarterly. Through our Safe and Sound Plan, streams are inspected and cleared of debris after every major storm event. To date, that effort has resulted in the removal of more than 28 tons of debris from our streams. In February of 2019, we launched our EC Safe and Sound website, where residents can track the inspections and debris removal in real time. In May of 2019, we installed an outdoor tone alert system. This outdoor tone alert is programmed to sound whenever flash flooding is imminent. It's triggered automatically by flash flood warnings issued by the National Weather Service and can be also triggered manually by our emergency personnel on the ground. Since its installation, the tone alert system has been successfully used twice to warn the public of impending severe weather events. The first phase included several other initiatives, including the installation of high ground access points and gates, and progressing the Ellicott City Watershed Master Plan. In April of 2019, the Department of Public Works concluded their review of potential flood mitigation plans, and together we selected 5 options to present to the community. We held a public meeting where attendees could ask questions directly of the experts we worked with to develop these options. I'm so thankful to have a community that is so passionate and engaged about our town's recovery. Following this meeting, I selected a flood mitigation plan for Ellicott City. This new plan included nearly all of the projects included in the previous plan. However, instead of removing 10 buildings at the lower end of Main Street, our plan only removed 4 and added several new impactful projects, including the North Tunnel. Once complete, our plan is expected to bring water levels on Main Street down to an average of 3 feet in a 2016 size storm. As I mentioned earlier, even though some of the projects were already underway, an incredible amount of work remained on those projects, including permitting in all 3 levels of government, property acquisition, final design, the bid process, and construction. For the projects that were not already underway, we had to start from scratch. One of those projects, the Rogers Avenue storm drain, which was still in design in December of 2018 when we came into office, is now complete and operational. And thanks to the incredible progress we have made behind the scenes, we're close to breaking ground on several other projects. The H7 dry flood mitigation pond was at only 65% design when we came into office. Over the last 2 years, we finished the design process and completed the permitting processes at the state and local level. A few weeks ago, this project was put out to bid, meaning construction will break ground in just a few short months. H7 is fully funded. The Quaker Mill Dry Flood Mitigation Pond, at only 35% design in December of 2018, with 2 acquisitions that still needed to be completed, is on track now to receive all necessary permits. Construction is expected to begin this summer, and Quaker Mill is also now fully funded. The Maryland Avenue Culvert Project, which had barely started preliminary design, is progressing through final design and is currently undergoing federal and local permitting processes. This important project is also fully funded, thanks to our partners at the state legislature, Senator Katie Fry Hester, Delegate Courtney Watson, and the rest of our Howard County delegation. Our joint permit application to the Army Corps of Engineers and the Maryland Department of the Environment, which includes the federal Section 106 process, has been underway for nearly 18 months. Originally, this process was anticipated to only take a year. Unfortunately, when the public meeting we had scheduled for May of 2020 was pushed back several months, the process was heavily set back. For the required local approval, our team continues to work with the Howard County Historic Preservation Commission in hopes of being granted a certificate of approval for the Maryland Avenue Culvert Project. Over the past 2 years, we have also completed the acquisition necessary to construct the H4 dry flood mitigation pond, advanced the design of the North Tunnel, acquired several properties in the West End needed for projects in that area, and much more. Our flood mitigation plan comes with a significant price tag, but we know this investment is the best way to protect Ellicott City. Spending less for a plan that would not protect our town was simply not an option. Ellicott City is not only a shopping and dining destination for people across our state and nation, it's also an important economic driver for our county, providing much needed tax revenue that supports services and programs for all Howard County residents. Since day one, we have been looking at all available funding and financing options. We have worked closely with our partners in the state legislature to secure state funding and have applied for every program we are even remotely eligible for. Last month, we found out that one of those efforts is potentially paying off in a big way. After submitting a letter of interest in October of 2020, we were notified by the Environmental Protection Agency that we were selected to apply for WIFIA funding, a low-interest long-term loan program through the federal government. Though we still have to go through the application process, this selection signals that WIFIA intends to provide us with 49% of the cost of our Safe and Sound plan. I'm so pleased with the progress we have made, but I know there is still much more work to do not just on our flood mitigation projects, but on supporting our town holistically to ensure its continued success. To that end, we have some exciting, impactful projects on the horizon for Ellicott City. This summer, the staff in the old courthouse will move to a new courthouse campus, creating an opportunity for innovative reuse of the current courthouse complex. Our hope is that this project will not only bring in new businesses, but will also support the economic vitality of our town. My team is currently working through the details of this process, but we already know it will include a robust public engagement strategy. Please be on the lookout for more information. The Ellicott City Watershed Master Plan, which includes many exciting concepts for our town, such as installing wayfinding signs, was recently adopted by the County Council. After being put on hold indefinitely following the election in November of 2018, the plan was revived through the Safe and Sound Plan, and a new draft was produced. Within the next several weeks, we'll be working to replace the remainder of the temporary asphalt sidewalks with concrete sidewalks and installing a much-needed crosswalk on Lower Main Street. And the 6 buildings on Main Street that were previously slated for demolition will soon be given new life as we start the renovation process pending the availability of funding. Ellicott City is a special place, not only to those of us in the community, but nationally recognized as a place to be. It's why people like Gordon Ramsay chose to come here and invest in our town's businesses, providing national exposure for them and our entire community. It's why shows like Good Morning America chose to feature it on their program. And that's why we have seen dozens of new businesses open in Ellicott City since December of 2018. The last year has been incredibly difficult for everyone, but especially for the business owners in Ellicott City, who were still recovering from the 2018 flood when the pandemic hit. We were happy to be able to provide more than $500,000 to the businesses in Ellicott City through 2 rounds of federal CARES Act funding. While we have made incredible progress since taking office, our work in Ellicott City is really just beginning. As Ellicott City nears its sesquicentennial or 250th birthday, we will continue to work diligently and with the urgency the problem demands to ensure that Ellicott City remains safe and sound for the next 250 years and is a model of resiliency, protection of our environment, and history, as well as investment in small businesses for the rest of our state, nation, and world for generations to come.